They were finally given permission to the ability to control the mesh a little bit more, or they just turned it off or don't have it on this camera. At one point, they couldn't shut it off, and I'm sure they complained a little bit, like, "Yo, he's exposing your whole fucking shit, moron." You know, I mean, it's something you can feel. It's hard to explain. They can read every morsel of my mind, layers deep, layers deep. I can feel what's on their mind only because of bleed back type shit. Look at that. Isn't that something? Notice anything funny? Uh, so I know how they feel. There's a saying: you forget what someone says, but you never forget how they make you feel. There's an inevitable residual synthetic telepathy that I can feel. These motherfuckers are like, this is a shit show. Even said to me, admitted, it's a shit show. That's why you're not dead yet, I guess. That's what I feel. It wasn't said that. It's a shit show, and we know every fiber of your fucking person, and you don't deserve this. And you're certainly right when you say, if this machine kills you, although it was designed for you, ostensibly this thing was designed for you. If this machine kills you, it starts the cannibalism of on a whole nother level. Um, it almost encapsulates the whole thing. Each extreme, because this thing was made for people just like me. In fact, there's a substance and process called PDMS in the fucking thing. It was made for people just like me, and maybe with the great help of me in its R&D and in its the whole process of manufacture of designing it. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm not spouting that, and I'm not espousing that, but I wouldn't doubt it. But it was made for someone just like me. But by no means does someone like me can devalue can appraise it. There you go. This shit was made for me. I'm the most monitored motherfucker in the world right now. I mean, I bet my life on it. This was made for me, and I think that you know you know including but not limited to, I get to appraise it now that I if that's determined, if that has any substantial um, bearing and standing. I can appraise this thing, and it's beautiful. But it's beastly, and it's going to creep up on you, and you're not ready for it. And I just explained it in a nutshell, but you wouldn't believe me. And that's just glare. Okay, that's just glare. That white line around me is just glare. No, it's a motherfucking green screen like you have never seen. Uh, they got back doors to everything, and that my cameras have been one thing that have been all right. What's out here for real in real life? As many things I told you about is in the cameras, all my devices, including my eyes, and it's later tapped out. It's later tapped out, and the way they are able to read your mind is through the nose, nanos in your nose, vis-a-vis, in face to face with some kind of connectors, contacts, anodes. They place back in your nasal cavity for whatever reason. I don't know. Okay, this is not medical advice. It's not hate speech. Why ever that you're letting people go way back in your nasal cavity, you know, that's your problem. They knew that I wasn't going to do it. That's why they sent the spinny things to to monitor me and make sure I get my monthly or my routine, my scheduled well luciferase quantum dot microdot vaccine that's going to allow them to track me and read my mind. It's the luciferase without a doubt. It has to be in your nose, okay? And I know I look like Allen Iverson or something, or Ben Affleck. You know why these motherfuckers have got their hats on? Because they're being synteled and motherfuckers are playing with them. Come on, Allen, you didn't make that shot, Allen. What's wrong? And Allen Iverson's like, what, motherfucker? In real life, I can see it. He's fighting with somebody that you know, Martin Lawrence, Ben Affleck. People walking around Hollywood with their hats on. Fucking paparazzi comes up and they're like, they're being synteled. They've been doing it for a long fucking time. They probably did it to Bob Barker for trying to fuck Diana. Now you're being synteled. If they want to. You have Rick James, yeah. You have a nano rap, whether you know it or like it or not. Enjoy it. Enjoy learning about it, and do whatever you want. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you, you have a nano rap, and I got a couple nano raps myself. If you hear them, I'll be glad. But there's a good chance you might not hear them. They turn this shit down, and they can, their presence to me is not. I don't feel that. I feel them very, just when they're needed. And I'm in a very noisy environment, and it's not. It's noisier in playgrounds where there's kids. They can make it noisier, legitimately noisier, in playgrounds. They really have enough noise here. They don't need to add any. But if I could be in a playground, it could sound like this, like a stadium was down the street, like there's a football game. And it's not just me, even though I have a cochlear implants, many of them. They put them here, back of the neck, spine, feet, crown. I'm not protecting my crown as I should. You're being, you can be tracked from a satellite 50,000 feet in the sky, right here, the crown. And perhaps that's why they gave a certain malady a certain name that has crown in it. That they take it's hard to fix. It's hard to expose, but the shit is hard to it's impossible to keep secret. Impossible. With the right instruments, There's no way that they can keep it secret. Uh, you've seen it. Some of you who chose to look for more than 2 seconds, you've seen it. And that's because of because of the humans at the supercomputer, or in spite of it. I don't know why, but it's one or the other. Everything seems very normal, more normal than it has in years. You know, well, a year. They used to take Sundays off before the COVIDs. All right, lights on, rats out. It wasn't always like this.